Sounds good, looks good. So, guys, it's my show tonight. So, welcome to Around the Cabin with the Keepers of Bushcraft and Survival. I'm joined by a guest, Chris Kane, and he really is one of the world's top survival experts. 20 years living off grid. He basically survived around the UK, living on wild plants and edibles and finding a meal wherever he could. I really wanted to bring some first-hand knowledge to people who are planning and prepping for bug outs and survival situation. Chris is probably one of the world leaders on this. He's got his own school over here and he's bought out a load of different blades. So Chris, welcome.
Hello, how are you doing?
We're good, mate. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and some of your experiences?
Okay, I'm Chris Kane, obviously. I lived out for 20 odd years or so. I'm still classed as NFA now, which is no fixed abode as such. Although you see me here on this desk, it's the wife's house, nothing to do with me. But you know, what my dad was ex-forces, like 21 SAS. As a kid growing up, I was taught basics of survival, and as I got older we got into it a bit more, and there was two of us, me and my brother, like, and Peter went off and did farming and I went the opposite. I hated it at first because as a kid, you know, you just want to do what you can, but well, I mean, it's led to me being able to do this and teach people and give them advice as much as possible, and that's it really from now.
So, going on to your school, Chris, I know you've got you have such a large survival school, and that's a lot of the schools are slowing down now, and I know we're all looking at other avenues to go down with that.
Yeah.
On your survival school, or for students that want to learn a little bit about survival, or people that are like housebound if they can't really get out, how can they really start looking into that field of getting into survival, learning the industry a little bit?
What if they're housebound?
If they can't really get out, yeah.
Oh,
if they
right,
can't
yeah.
get out, you know.
Internet provides a good means of information. There's a load of good people out there that, you know, there's a load of people that are doing all sorts of stuff on YouTube. They've got their own channel out there. Obviously they can learn from around the cabin, which it's new to me as well. So, you know, there'd be other people on as well. So yeah, I mean, internet really. I mean, you can learn from books, but it's no substitute for experience. If you see what I mean, you can't learn a subject from a book. You might better take it in, but it's different when you're outside. You know, coming to plants and fungi, you can't use a book and say, right, I can identify that plant. You know, everyone knows dandelion stinging nettle, but do you get where I'm going?
Yeah.
Would it be safe to say it's like you've got to have dirt time? You've got to have time out there in the field doing it.
I recommend it, but if you are housebound and for temporary status, you can learn it on the internet. You can go up on plants and stuff, but again, it's down to humans. It's only what we've put on there, and you're only as good as the person behind who's telling you what's right and what's wrong.
You come up with the perfect survival tool that is part of your knife range, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Now, you worked alongside Lofty Wiseman for a while.
Yeah, we did a DVD together back in the old, I don't know, 2005, I think.
Yeah, and you obviously knew Lofty Wiseman before that?
Yeah, my father, like, sort of introduced me to Lofty, and I knew him, back in '89, before all the bushcraft craze came about.
Yeah. Does everyone in the room know who Lofty Wiseman is? Thumbs up, maybe? Does everyone know who Lofty is?
I'll give everybody in the room a hint. He wrote a book, and the book is titled SAS Survival Guide. You guys know what that book is? Then you might know who Lofty is.
I mean, Lofty Wiseman was one of the guys that basically writ the survival book. He writ the survival guides for the armies.
And that's a big difference between bushcraft and survival now.
Yeah.
That's a big to do. I know, Fog likes the bushcraft stuff. I like bushcraft stuff too, but I teach survival over here. And Chris is survival.
Pure survival.
Bushcraft is nice and fun to play and do stuff like that. But survival is the real deal. So.
Chris, right? Let's talk about the blade. Because I am just a knife guy. I love knives, and I do a lot of YouTube reviews on knives. So the design of the knife. Let's clear this up. A lot of people get it wrong.
Well, let me put this right. There's been a lot of people that say, what is it? Oh, he's a student of Lofty Wiseman. Well, I suppose I am in a way. I worked alongside Lofty for a while. I've been to his house loads of times. Lofty Wiseman is probably the best survival instructor I know, besides the guy you've got in America called Cody Lundeen, who's been there and done it. I respect people like that, see? Now then, let's clear this up once and for all. On the internet, people say it's a copy of Lofty's. Well, I'm going to tell you that Lofty Wiseman gave me the idea in the first place in a kitchen, and this is the drawing that he drew some years ago. Hopefully you can see that. There's the handle and the blade. I don't know if you can, if I turned it upside down, guys, I'm just going to show you what he's put down on that bit there, which is this here, which is quite important because it does make a note. Can you see that or not? No?
It's not that clear, mate.
Okay, I am
just read it out.
Well, anyway, the handle's clear and hopefully the blade's quite clear. Okay, so he did design a knife that he had thoughts on. We were in his house. When I walked up to his garden, he had this big cage or box that he undone and give me this blade. Now, I've since broke a bits off this blade that he gave me, put an handle on it, didn't last very long. And he said, look, that's the shape I want. Go away and then come back. So I went away, got a blacksmith down the road to do it. And we got it all sorted. I took it back up to Hereford to see Lofty, and he put some red marks on this blade. Now, at the moment, I haven't got this blade. It's a shame because I wish I had it, but this other guy's got it at the moment. I don't know. We fell out together, and he's doing his own thing now. So, and it ended up with a parang type shape. Now, Lofty has got his own blade out. It is different to this one. But just to clear things up, this was the blade that Lofty drew for me in his kitchen. And he said to me, look, this is the picture. Go and have a go at it. Come back when you think you've got something right. So I have got something here just to show you. Do you want to see it or what?
Yeah.
No? Yeah? Okay. Well, this is part of... This is the big... I don't know if you can see it. The parang. Or the Chris Kane survival tool. Now, this cutting edge is razor sharp, so I really can't touch it because I'll have my hands off with it, really. But that's the shape of the blade. I'm doing it nice and slow so you can see. Then I'm going to grip the top of the blade because it's got no stuff. But there is the handle. Okay? Now, the idea of this is you can grip this three places, okay? The guard, which I call this here, is to stop your hand slipping and cutting your hand on this blade. Okay, so when you hold it, it's as such. Okay, you can hold it right back here for extra chopping ability. The blade is also, it's made out of CS80, which is a carbon steel. It's about 4 or 5 mil thick. It's convex grind, and this is probably the first one that was made, well, one of the first ones that I got done in the UK, up at Sheffield. Nice and sharp, and you can hold it like an axe, so you can put 2 hands on it and use it like an axe. But there is a safety feature with this, which we've incorporated, which is this thong at the back, which you put your thumb through and then twist, and then that goes on the blade. And look, if you look at the hand, there's no string across the hand, which causes you a problem. Okay, so it just goes onto there, The weight of it, it weighs about a bag of sugar, a bit more. It is heavy. Its purpose job is to process wood. That is it.
Yeah. I've seen some people get some real nasty injuries by actually attaching the lanyard right around their wrist, where the weapon slipped or whatever they're using slipped.
Yeah.
And it's actually not gone anywhere. At least if it's on the thumb, it just does dangle again. It's important not to wrap it around your wrists. So you also bought out another blade, which was the companion, and obviously you've got the Chris Kane knife. Have you got the companion there?
The companion's here. Now, again, this is leather sheath, and it's got bits with it, which is a Lenski sharpener and a striker. Okay, this is all leather, made down in. Oh God, here we go. I've forgotten. I'll get it back in a minute. But the same. All we do with this is there's 3 poppers. You open it out and then pull the blade, and it keeps it away from your hands so you don't cut yourself. Okay. Obviously, it's got a D-ring, so you can move. It's strong leather. This is the reason we brought this out is because the big blade, people said, okay, it's too big. So have you got anything smaller? So we went back to the drawing board and scaled this barang down to make this, which is a lot smaller. Okay. And we put a choil on this, so you can put your hand right over here for delicate work. Okay, so again, you've got the same sort of handle, a guard, dovey bit at the back, stop your hand slipping off when it gets hot and sweaty, and you've got the tie. Okay, this is a lot lighter than this.
Chris.
All these knives are available in America now, aren't they? They're all in the States.
Yeah, the Knife Center, Blade HQ, and Dallas. In Dallas, there's what's it called now? There's a place in Dallas. He's our main supplier out there, anyway. Yeah, Rich.
Chris,
sorry.
Could you show us why you open the blade or take the blade out the way you do, and the reason for that, of why the knife comes out?
Well, I'll just, if I can get this blinking camera to work. You've got poppers down here. Normally, when you put a sheath together and the blade's sharp, most people want to hold it like this. Hold it like this, and then draw it like that. And the thing is, if there wasn't any poppers down here, the blade being sharp would go through the leather and cut your hands. So the idea is, what we do is, let me just button this up quick. What we do is we open this with the hands like so, and you hold this. This keeps you clear of the blade. See, if I hold that, and then I can draw the blade out, and there's no danger of me cutting my hands. It's just a built-in safety thing. It's well thought of. I think it's good and it works. Last one I've done, I got from a mate who does shoe repairs. He made me a sheath for the bigger blade, and my blade was that sharp it was cutting through. In the end, we had to insert plastic, a massive great plastic insert. God knows how he done it, but yeah, Simon, very good. But
now,
yeah,
we call this the Chris Kane survival tool, not a Chris Kane survival knife, because you can do so much more with that tool. What are some of the other things you can do with that tool besides just cut? Or one blade cut?
No,
so
well,
it's actually like what, 3 blades in one, and then
yeah. The middle section here is the sharpest section, and this is, so we use this for cutting big stuff like timber and stuff. This for feathering wood, for processing wood. Up here for skinning. So what you can do with this, which people don't understand, is you can put this through your hand and grab the top of it, and it dangles, and this takes all the weight of the blade off your arms, and then you can skin with this. See, sorry, it's moving too quick, but you can use this for skinning, processing food and fish and stuff. You can also use it as a draw knife. If you put your hand over the back, I've got no sharp bits here. Most of it's been rounded off, so you can batten with it, hold on to it, and use it like a draw knife. So it won't. Yeah, Lofty put that on for digging, I believe, but that's only for roots necessary. But he does. You can batten the top of his. I mean, being truthful, I've held it. I've spoke to Lofty. he's seen my blades or what produced or what I've come out at the last bushcraft show. He thinks they're great. It's good that it's going well, but I've never used Lofty's blade. I've held them in the factory, and I know they're very light. They're a lot lighter than mine. But most of his have gone forward weight, which he wanted the original idea in the first place. So, yeah, but his knife works. It works very well, actually. The back of the blade. Well, this bit here, from this section to this section, is square for one reason. It's because when we use, if I just put this down, sorry, and this, when we use, what? No. I'll just put this on because I'm just worried about. What's the matter now? No, I won't drop it. Look, it's on the desk. Don't worry. Yeah. And what you can do is you can use this for, if I can do it. I don't want to catch the bloody. No, 10 toes. Well, I mean, normally I can start. You can use this to start a fire with the back of the striker, but yeah, I'm in a house, so what I'm scared of, I've got bits all over the damn desk, and
don't go cutting your leads through your laptop or nothing, mate.
No, she'd go loopy. So, but I've used it before. Look, and you use the back of the blade to strike, and that will set get your fire going. So.
You'd need all your survival skills, mate, without beating your head around with a frying pan or something. Don't be doing that.
You can, but I always use this bit because it's been rounded off. It's better. I mean, if you can use the blade this way, but the thing is, I'm always worried. Lofty always said to me as well that you always try and use the back of the blade because it's better. But if you use it sideways, you've got rivets here, and if they come loose when you're outside, you've got no way of replacing them. But the thing is, if this handle comes off, you can put paracord around it and retie it so it'll get back to normal as such. But yeah, it's not sideways. Oh God, yeah. Or put them on the side and then bash them with your hand, or a bit of wood.
It's just a great tool that I think it's big seller over here, big seller in America now, isn't it? It's become quite a popular tool. Canada, I think, was another place. Really good reviews from Canada at the moment over there on it. So I was reading on some forums. Yeah, they've had some really good reviews on it. So you designed the blade. You went off for 20 years, 20 so years?
Yeah, about then, off and on, yeah.
Right. So
I started a fire there, look. No, I'll put it out. Go on.
That's right. Don't burn the next day, mate.
She'll go berserk. Go on.
Yeah, she will. So you go off, you decide that you're going to go out and live in the wild, basically, as best you can.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Because I've had, they thought that, or most people think that I'd had the experience by doing it, but before I'd had my dad's training, so I wasn't. The initial kick-in is the first 6 weeks. Okay, it's you've got to have a good, strong mind. 85% of it is mental. Okay, the other lot is physical. So mental is the most immense pressure you've got out there, because people I've seen, just instances, people crying up against trees and stuff. Well, I've been out there, I've known a lot of people out there, and they can't cope with being on their own, and that's the most telling thing. You've got to enjoy your own company. So but yeah, the first 6 weeks are the hardest, and then it gets easier. But what you've got to do is try and train your brain to think, yeah, fine, I can handle this. But the worst thing is at night, when you're on your own, no one's about, but you can hear everything, the birds and rustling and foxes and stuff. I did enjoy it. I miss it, I must admit. But to turn back the clock now, I'm getting older, I'd be all right with it. But I could see, the thing is, when you've done it for real, it doesn't matter. You can easily go back and do it again if shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
but I'd want to sleep off the ground. I'm getting older and I want a hammock. I don't want to sleep on the ground anymore.
What?
Yeah, Chris is a big ground dweller, isn't you, Chris? You're
No,
not
we
much
don't.
of a hammock camper,
Listen,
are you?
when I was out, Kojak gave me his hammock in the summer, and it was late afternoon. I fell asleep in his hammock. He didn't mind. He was fine about it. And I got cold, so I went down to the ground, and I got heat. So I just thought, and I've done it in winter, summer, spring, everywhere. And I found that hammocks, yes, they can do you've got this under blanket now. But personally, I prefer being on the ground because, do you know what I mean? If you're in a hot country, a hammock is meant for a hot country.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think jungle training, jungle survival, you would always try and be in a hammock, mate, and not on the floor. But, you know, for most places, in a survival situation, the floor is the better option, innit?
Yeah, really.
Or even under the floor, depending on what you're doing.
All under the floor. Yeah.
You know, the cold climate, really, you know, I prefer a hammock and stay out of the winter. But, and when it comes to wintertime, most definitely it's either down and down lower as I can get. A nice long bed of coals to sleep on, and I'll pretend like I'm a big hot dog in a bun.
Lee asked a question in the room: is how balanced is the knife, and could it be used for throwing?
No. I've seen a video on YouTube where a guy's brought my blade and then chucked it at a tree. I was going to put a comment, what's he throwing the blade for? Because, like, you'll lose it. No, not really. I mean, it's a tool. It's not a throwing blade. If Lee wants to get a throwing blade, he can buy one from, wherever, really. But no, it's not a throwing blade, my old mate. Sorry to say.
Sure.
It is. I mean, look, the balance on it, I don't know. I think another guy of mine did it once, but if I put it about there, if I can see it, it might pump forward or go back. But you see what I mean? It's not.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it balanced. It's more, you know, if you look at it, it's really thick on the back, Lee, and do you know what I mean? You won't break it, mate. I've tried my hardest to snap this. We've had 20 stone on this plus trying to break it, and but no, throwing knives, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend throwing it.
Another question in the room was, what kind of supplies did you go out with? And I'll take it that was when you first went out initially. What did you actually take with you? Because obviously you never had a tool back then. It wasn't designed.
No, it was I had an Est wing axe, which is I don't know. I called it a carpenter's tool, really, just with a straight shaft. I had when I first went out, I had a bivvy bag, sleeping bag, a good sleeping bag, central zip, British Army, a ground mat, and a rucksack. But obviously wet clothes, you know, like dry, you know, waterproofs. The first time I went out, I had one of the first ever Gore-Tex jackets. And it bloody leaked, and that was horrible in the rain. Do you know what I mean? When you're wet and you're cold and you're miserable, that hurts. So,
I mean, I use the British Army Arctic sleeping bag, central zip, and I've got to say, you know, they are a good bag to take out anywhere, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I've got one. I've got 3, 4 here. I've got 3 for the family, and I've got a spare, and I've got an American system as well, which I got sent over from a friend of mine over there. So, yeah, that works well as well. But it's in the car. It's just kept there as safety, really.
So, moving on to survival.
Yeah.
So, you come back, you set your survival school up, you go back with Lofty Wiseman to work for a little bit to make a DVD after that.
Yeah, we did. I set a school up a long time ago. That sort of come to an end with a disagreement with the other people, really. I left and did my own thing. But yeah, we did the DVD with Lofty, which is here somewhere on this shelf.
Yeah. So from there, you set your own school up, and obviously the feedback from a load of the courses was excellent. There wasn't really a bad review. So
no.
Even now today, then, when you go out and you start teaching people without obviously giving away all your secrets,
right?
How do you start them off? beginning of the course, what would you?
Beginning of the course,
I
I talk to them about safety first, which is very important. Knife safety we go through, tell them not to, put the knife towards them and stuff. And if they're going to cut a piece of wood, make sure they always cut away from them. Don't cut across your leg, because you've got your femoral artery there, you'll be in trouble. Make sure if you haven't got the blade, don't stick it in any live tree or any wood. Put it back in the sheath and leave it where you can find it. Put it back in its sheath or in the back pocket, wherever you've got it. And then what I introduce is the team, which is Ian Lomas. Ian's normally with me. He's been in the army for a while. And then we go through the basics, like when you get to the woods, first thing you do is sit down, give yourself 5-10 minutes, take a breather, nice deep breaths, and then try and sort out what you're going to do, make a plan. Okay? Then I always tell people to start looking above their head, okay? Because in high winds you get deadfall, low branches, and in high winds, if you're camping under them, they come down, bash you on the head, and that's your survival finish. We talk about water, plants, fungi, navigation, and bugs in the trees, really. Because I had it once where I'll just give you a quick instance where I was teaching this guy up north, his group, and this guy decided to light this fire. He got his tea on, and I said to him, shouted to him, "What are you doing?" And all I heard was a black mass come out of this tree, and these hornets come down, and I had to chuck him and his stuff in the lake and run and jump in the lake. Told everyone to get a move on. But it's a volatile situation that has to be done. I got stung, and it's like red hot rivets. It's not funny, but they do chase you. So you always look above your head for bees, hornets, any type of game trail on the floor. Wood ants are a nasty thing. You don't want to camp down them because they get in your sleeping bag and they'll be biting you all night, and they, they're just critters, and you don't want them. So
I actually chopped through a wasp nest last summer and took 11 wasp stings, and I've got to say I look like Shrek after they'd finished with me.
They're not very nice.
I try to take out as many as I can, but I was just overwhelmed.
I call bull, because what happened was you chopped through. I saw that private video. You chopped through the wasp nest. You took off running. You tripped Megan, and you kept going and left that poor girl there to take the brunt of the punishment.
I wish I had her there, because she'd have just kept filming me running. Because once you'll always find if a wasp or anything like that bites you, they actually leave a hormone in your body, so every other wasp then will attack just you. You're the main target. In my mate, who was actually stood right next to me, never got one wasp sting, and he's just watching me laughing, and I've got loads of them. I actually jumped in the no, wasps don't leave, they don't make honey. You can eat their larvae more than, but we do have bees over here that produce really good honey. And we tend not to raid their nests because they can get a little bit angry as well. In any survival situation, you really don't want to be mucking with anything that can hurt you, mate, to be honest with you. You normally come out worst. And you've seen that on some videos, there's a classic with Bear Grylls, takes a nasty sting, and there's some other one I know that went running from a few wasps, and dangerous stuff. Chris... Go on, mate.
Sorry, I was going to say,
crack on.
Just making sure that the people know when you actually do go out there, make sure your kit bloody works before you go. Don't buy it and then go out there and use it and it leaks on you. I've had it where, I'll give you an instance. W.L. Gore in this country, I went up to their factory. I was doing their bloody stuff. Wasn't testing it. I was just up there with Black's Outdoor people, and they showed us this a meter square stuff. They showed it how it breathes and stuff. Looks brilliant, for the camera and stuff. But like I said to her, what, can you prove that it works? And she goes, well, can't you see that it works? So I said, there, you can prove that it breathes, but you can't prove to me that it's waterproof. And that was my most worry. And I said to her, if you can prove to me that it works, I'll take 12 jackets now. I've got the money. And she said, she couldn't do it. What they do is they test that bloody meter, you'll get 1 or 2 jackets or so off that work perfect. They've got a roll over there 100 metres, they run off loads of jackets. You don't know whether they work.
Yeah.
And when you rely on kit outside in the field, it's got to work first time, every time. And if it doesn't work, bin it. Get rid of it.
We've talked about this, haven't we? People go into a shop, don't be scared to have a real good look at it, you know, and if it don't work, just take it back, because it's not doing what it says on the tin, and that's no good to you. You know, you want kit that does work.
You know what?
Start asking questions. I mean, if you've got a rucksack, pack it full of gear, walk around the shop for an hour. I know it sounds stupid, but test the bloody thing before you put it on your back, because you don't want to go 10 miles up the road and it's killing your back, because that's a no-no. Then you'll be ditching your gear and thinking, Jesus, why did I buy this piece of crap? So boots are the same. If you find that you've brought an ill-fitting pair of boots, you'll get a blister up the road, then you have to stop and treat yourself. I've got lowers which are army boots, and you can walk miles in them. They fit straight away like a glove. There's no problem with them. You can leave them loose for the first week or so, and then as they start to mold to your feet, you can tighten them up and stuff. But the normal walking boots and stuff with the Vibram sole, you know, they're great and stuff. You know, if you get them, if you're happy with that, great. But watch it when you go on a beach and wet rocks, because Vibram sole just slips all over the place, and you might cause an injury if you're carrying a heavy pack, you know.
Well, the one thing I find, now the three of us have all got dirt time in, all been out in the field, all been through that. But what I don't like is people, and as you said, Chris, their kits don't work every time. I don't like the idea of people pushing completed kits. You know, oh, here's my kit, it's got my name on it, here you go, here's the stuff. You can buy this whole bag with everything you need, and take it out and live out of it. And I have to look at them and go, you know.
The biggest problem is everyone's got different needs, isn't they? I mean, my needs are so much different to Chris's, and Chris would prefer something else, and you would prefer to take something else. You said you like a hammock, Chris likes the ground, I like a hotel, you know? It's all different things, isn't it?
Everyone.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes, mate. I mean, I work out in the woods all day, every day, cutting wood, chopping wood, feeding pheasants, checking traps. I like to go home to me comforts, mate, I'm afraid.
Yeah, so when Foggy goes out, and his idea of getting a meal is he rings room service. That's
it'd just be great, mate.
Bit far for that. No, but like I just kit waterproofs, you know. I mean, I've gone through, I don't know how much money I spent on waterproofs when I was out there. I had Kerry with me for 2.5 years before, you know, we got this place and stuff. And to put it blunt, I've only been in a place since 2000. So Jessie, she's nearly 13 now, so it's been a while, but I still go out, muck around. I've got the school to run, I've got this to do, and knives to put aside and stuff. But just make sure that you get good gear. The only gear I'd recommend at the moment for waterproofs is Keeler. I've got a Keeler jacket. It works, it's bomb proof. We always start to test stuff. If we don't like it, we throw it back at the company and just tell them why. Don't be scared of them. And just because the jacket or whatever you get has got a label in it, don't believe them. Ask them loads of questions, because they're only there to sell you the bloody gear. They're not there that knows, you know. And if they say listen, I'll give you an example. Years ago, I went to buy this sleeping bag, and they said to me, this Jungle Act sleeping bag is brilliant. Anyway, I paid for it. And because I'm quite a small guy, I'm only 5'7", I'm not very, big boned. I suffer from the cold, because I mean, when you're out there, you get used to it and stuff, but you get cold. So the sleeping bag didn't work. I ended up giving the bloody thing away. So if you have got a sleeping bag, nowadays I believe they've got to give you a comfort rating to it. Now they might exaggerate that comfort rating, so make sure that you get a bigger one. So if you feel the cold, make sure you go for a 5-season sleeping bag instead of a 4. And the usual thing is, what I got told was, why do you want a 5-season sleeping bag? It never gets below -10 in the UK. Well, not being funny, but where in the bloody hell have you been, mate?
Yeah, they're lying. I mean?
So
they're lying.
And they've never been there and never done it. So make sure. But if you do suffer from the cold and you've got an orange sleeping bag, you can double it up and put another one inside, and that will aid you. But it's horrible being in the snow and it's really cold outside. and you're freezing your nuts off at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's no joke.
Well,
So, you know,
Big Dirt just put a thing in there. He would like an Alice pack, and I got to tell you, I've carried an Alice pack for God almost 20 years. I really like my Snug pack, made by Snug Pack, for the, it's a heavier bag, but the durability, the fact that I can beat the bejeebus out of that bag, I have no problem with Snug Pack.
I've got an Arctica bag behind me, and the zip snapped on it. So Kerry uses it, now and again. But we need to get it repaired. But she loves it, and I've lost that now. But it's got a comfort rating of -20, and it's a good bag. But I've got Army sleeping bags here with central zip. I've got your American system in the car with the side zips. Now, the only downside I can see is them side zips. If you had a central zip, you could open it quicker. But the kit that you've got, the bivvy bag that comes with your American unit, works well, and I'm pleased. I got it off a guy, John, out there, who's a sergeant, friend of mine, good friend of mine, and he sent it across, and I just sent him some tools, and he's sweet. But yeah, he said it works. He's been out in the wet, and it's no problem. So I can. It's big, but don't skimp on kit. If someone says, "Oh, go light," well, if you feel the cold, you're just going to freeze your nuts off. Make sure that you warm outside at night. It might be hot in the daytime. At night, it gets below freezing. You're just going to get cold. Don't skimp. Just get the proper gear.
I mean, I've actually spoke with probably 2 or 3 real survival professional guides, and from all around the world. And they always say the more you know, the less you can carry. And they actually say, every one of them come back and say, the more you know, the more you'll really, really want to carry. Yeah. And I think that's a true saying, isn't it? Because I mean, I've got quite a good knowledge now of being outdoors, and I seem to be increasing my kit all the time just to be comfortable out in the woods, so I'm not having to rough it anymore. Then you can do it with the right gear,
There's a thing that any bloody fool can be uncomfortable out there. The idea is not to be uncomfortable. The idea is to be, quite warm. I've lost my kit several times down to the Cairngorms. I've been mucking around up there, and it's gone over a cliff, and I've lost it middle of the night, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. Gone down, got a big log fire going, and laid beside that all night in the snow, and it's been fine. But you've got to prepare for the worst, and you've got to have a contingency plan. That if you lose your gear, you must have a plan B. And if that doesn't work, you fall back and have a plan C, which is the next emergency. But you're always planning in case anything happens. I mean, getting back to when I was out, it was hard. You meet a lot of people, what you call them, tramps, wayfarers, whatever you call them. Half of the people I met are dead now through alcohol abuse and stuff. Touch wood, I've never been a drinker, never taken drugs or anything, so I've been off the ball. They used to laugh at me and say, well, you get paid for teaching what we do out here. But they always said they never had the patience to teach anyone what they do. Do you know what I mean?
See, the homeless people are amazing at survival, aren't they? Homeless people, you could never take that away from them. In fact, I know a guy who's been homeless for, must have been 20 odd years, 30 years. And the guy is just a sheer survival expert. End of story. He'll tell you anything you need to know. He can make a house out of a cardboard box, and the guy he's happy with his life.
I mean, there was a guy called Jock Gray who used to sleep one side of the woods, and I used to sleep the other. Just a funny story. Like he come across at 6 in the morning using my fire for making lion syrup on eggs. Right? Oh God! He woke me up and said, "Do you want some, Chris?" I said, "No, it's all right, mate, thanks." Anyway, he cracked on, and it's -5 in the morning. It's cold.
Yeah.
I've got a tarpaulin full of water, and I don't know. He stood up, and it all went down this trench coat. He had this black old trench coat. Anyway, he wandered off and said, "Oh, that's my shower for the morning, boys," and off he went. I just laughed my head off, but a complete nutcase. But he passed away some years ago. He had cancer and pneumonia by living out there. But it takes its toll on you outside, living rough. It's not a game. It's a real life situation. But I'll tell you more about it.
Was it a battle every day?
It is a battle every day because, you know, you think that I used to keep busy by collecting wood. You know, I don't do bloody spoons. I don't carve baskets. But when you're outside, you'll find out what works and what don't, and you learn the hard way. And what I do on my courses is I try to incorporate what I've done to make sure that they don't suffer when they're out there. You know, I'm always on to them. Get wood. You can't use that, because some of them come back and they have a little pile of wood. Oh, that'll last me all night. No, forget it. You need go back and get 3 times as much, because that won't last. That'll last till 1 o'clock in the morning, and then, you know, you start to get cold. Now, another thing I notice with a lot of people is they don't use reflectors. Now, reflectors gain heat by throwing it back at you within your camp. If you don't use it, you're gonna, you know, they believe what they see on telly. Well, forget about telly. Telly don't work.
No.
Most of that's made up. Sorry, but you know, you've got to be out there and do it for real.
They don't use a lot of reflectors here in the United States. You'll find the ones that have really been out there. They don't use the reflectors over here, and you just look at them and go, really? Or, you know, they don't build, they don't put their shelters. If there's multiple people, they don't put the fire in the center. They'll have multiple fires.
Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it?
You know, and, you know, I just look at them and go, come on, guys. But it's just, they've never had to deal with that. They've never been in that. Here in America, you know, you're not very far from anybody in a survival situation, and 90% of them have never been homeless. 90% of them have never been out there really scratching or trying or doing whatever.
Yeah.
And they've never been out there into that kind of feasibility or what goes on. And the idea of the kits over here, we don't really want to go down that route, but you know, there are some king of the roads over here that do the survival classes in schools and whatnot that just, you know, I watch them and I go, really? I can't, you know.
I think most people who knows anything to do with outdoors, you can always tell people that really they're just playing to the camera, and they're not actually really coming across over with anything, you know, worthwhile saying, really. But you know, some people like that. You know, you got to remember, there's a lot of people that like that TV type survival thing. I calls it TV survival now, or TV bushcraft, and people love it, don't they? They love to sit down and watch a guy doing that. Your
guy out there, Cody Lundeen, right? Not getting on anybody's case or anything. I'm not criticising anyone, but that guy's done it. He's been there and done it. I've worked with TV stations before. I worked on Princess Nikki and on other stuff in Channel 4, and they try and change the way you do things to suit them.
Yeah,
and
I'm having the same problem at the moment with my producer on my bug egg film that we're making, you know. The producer wants things that's completely wrong, and I won't do it. So hence we've stopped an agreement at the moment, you know, and I'm not moving, I'm not budging, and he's slowly coming around, you know, because like I said to him, you know, I'll just get another producer.
Lord Haha has a question. Lord Haha says, Fog, ask the boss man about the wild edibles.
Well, there you go.
Well, Lord Haha. Yeah, I know who that is. My old mate.
I know who that is. It's Lord Haha. He's come to see you. Rich, have you put the call-in number up for the show?
No, would you like me to put the call-in number in?
You guys
want to take that?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, we'll take calls. Anyone wants to ring in the show?
All right.
Talk about your wild edibles.
Okay, edible. Let's go through a little thing that I always say. When I teach a course, I always say plants, fungi, insects, worms, snails, grubs, fish, and game. And that's your balanced diet, okay? So you do it in that order. Why? Why would I want to run round after animals when I've got plants in front of me? All I need to do is recognise them. 90% of them, or most of them, need boiling. They all taste like crap, and that's the truth. You're not gonna like them. If you were brought up eating plants, you'd think this food that we eat now is rubbish. Okay, so anything with a white sap, got any spears or little gadgets on it, you leave alone. Prickles, obviously. Red or blackberries, unless positively identified, we leave alone. Little barbs on them, like cleavers. We got little cleavers. They got little barbs and they stick to your clothing. You eat that, get stuck in your throat, you're choking, you're in trouble. So we boil it to make it more presentable to you. I mean, that's why we drink water or boil water. Yeah, obviously to make it safe, but to also to recognise that you think you're back in civilization. If you've got an injured person there, you're not going to give him cold and insipid water. Do you know what I mean? You're going to give him warm water, so he thinks he's being looked after. Do you know what I mean? It's common sense. Well, to me it is. Okay. Fungi, there's several in this country that are poisonous. They might be in America. The Amanita variety, death cap, destroying angel. You know, they're recognised by a skirt or a viola at the bottom, and halfway up you've got a ring. The Phalloides one is green slimy top. The other one's is white, and she looks like pure white. And I've seen them in ditches. They grow alone. They're isolated. They're quite easily, well, to me they're easily recognised, but to other people it's quite hard. They smell and taste the potatoes. I've never tasted them because I don't touch poisonous fungi. I keep everyone away from them. There's no known antidote to them. You get like 8 to 10 days. If you eat them, like a small bit on your fingernail, what happens is you get delirium, fevers, cold, diarrhea, vomiting, massive headaches, and then you recover and you think, oh, I've just had some bad water. Do you know what I mean? And then a couple of days later, hits you again. It attacks all your vital organs, and it's renal shutdown. Nightmare over. You're finished. Okay, there is no known antidote for them too. Panther cap is another one, relation to fly agaric, which causes muscarine poisoning, which attacks your nervous system. They're the red ones with the white dots on. Okay, Devil's Boletus looks like a penny bun, but it's got a red bulbous bit at the bottom. Red underneath. This type of thing, you've got to be careful of what you're looking at, what you're touching. Now, I want to make one thing clear, which does get up my nose big time in this country. There's a lot of people showing this stuff, and they look at it from books. You can't learn this stuff from books. You've got to have someone experienced to show you. And I was lucky enough to have, like Lofty, my father. I don't learn from books. You've got to learn from, I've got like a photographic memory. If you show me something, you've got to show me 2 or 3 times I've got it.
Yeah.
So again, with plants and fungi, please, positive recognition. Do you know what I mean? There's,
now,
go on.
Something else with plants and fungi, and Foggy and I just ran into this. And it was a good lesson for everybody during Fog's last show.
Yeah.
Fog was eating, what do I say? What was
wild garlic.
Wild
Ransom.
garlic. Now, see, his wild garlic.
Yeah.
Your wild garlic in England or over there in Europe is different than the wild garlic we have here. And we have a couple of different varieties of wild garlic, and they look somewhat similar, but there is a difference. And you have to know where you're at, what the wild edible is. So if I learn wild edibles here, and I go over with Chris, I may not find what I'm looking for because it's going to be a different, it'll be the same basic plant, but it'll look different over there.
Okay, there's a thing that I use called plant recognition. I call it 4 true petals or flowers means that something on that plant you can eat in this country and Europe. Okay, recognize the leaf, the shape of the leaf. Forget the flower because they're only seasonal. Okay, try and recognize it, crush it, smell it, use your senses, use your eyes. Don't put it in your bloody mouth. Use your nose, smell it. If it smells like garlic, forget it. If it smells like there's a elder tree which you've got here, the leaves are that stingent, they're bad, so we just ditch them. Do you know what I mean? You don't use them. But use your eyes, and if you smell, if it smells okay, fine, but instead of rub it on the inside of your arm. If you get an allergic reaction, wait 5 minutes, obviously. But if you get a redness, an itching or redness, ditch it. If you don't, put it on your bottom of your lip and wait 5-10 minutes. If there's no allergic reaction, no nausea, no white sap, or no, you don't get headaches or anything, then put it on your tongue. Again, do the same process. Wait 5 minutes. If it's fine, put it on, swallow it. Then this is the hard thing. You've got to wait 6 to 8 hours. Okay, don't start thinking, oh, that plant's edible, I can gorge on it, because you make yourself sick. If you are sick on it and you are worried about it, charcoal mixed in with a bit of water, drink that down. You might throw up, but it absorbs a lot of the poisons which are in your stomach. Okay, if you get a stomach bug, white potash from the fire in some water will also settle your tummy. It's like a tummy remedy. But you know, to me it's basic stuff, but it'll save your life if you're in the shit. And it does bother me that there is certain people in this country and probably in your country that are teaching this stuff that couldn't survive in Walmart, let alone Tesco's, and it's wrong that they should teach it because they haven't got the experience. I'm not going to name them because it's not right, and I don't do that. But when you do go on a course in your country or this country, find out about the guy, find out about his background. If you don't know, ask. It's the same old thing that people always say, he's a bloody good instructor. Well, how do you know? What's his background? What's he done?
People should never be scared to research who they're actually being taught by. They should never question, and if there's any doubt in your mind or anything like that, you're paying for the course. Don't go on it. End up.
You know, that's one of the things that, and I will say, that's one of the things Cody puts in his book. And he actually puts out there, he gives you a list of things to ask, even on his website. You should check with instructors. I mean, he's not shy about that either.
No.
Yeah, you should ask them.
If we go down the list, we've done plants and fungi. Then you go on to insects, you know, like worms. Now, bloody hell, I've seen army guys that pick up the worm, just chew on it. I mean, some people don't like it. Why don't you just dry them by a bloody fire, crush them up, put them in water, there's your gravy. So, amino acids, just do that. What's the point of, oh, I'm a big man, I'll just chew on it? Well, great, but you might as well dry them by the fire. We always, we always like food that's warm or hot. It goes down better. We feel more happier in ourselves that we've got something to eat. Do you know what I mean? Grubs and all that, you can pick them out from old dead wood and stuff, crush them down and make them into a paste and put it on a plate, not a plate, but a piece of tin or metal over a fire, and make sure that they're cooked properly. When you do this stuff, you cook it properly, you wash it properly, you prepare it properly. Don't take shortcuts because you don't know who's pissed on it. A dog, cat, animal, deer, whatever. Do you know what I mean? You've got to make sure that this stuff is clean, because you don't know whether you're going to get infected with something and you're down for 3 days, or you know.
And cleaning it with clean water, not
fresh water.
With dirty water too. You're just adding more to it. I mean, people got to think about that.
90% of illnesses come from unboiled water, so you always boil it. I don't care what you say, you boil the bloody water. If someone gives you a jar of water, you boil it. Just boil it. Who cares where because you don't know where he's got it from. So I boil it. Unless I see where he's got it from, that's a different kettle of fish. Right. But if it's a stream, lake, river, you make sure you boil it because there's always pollutants in it.
I push that over. I push that over here with people too, so they don't use those chemical things because the chemicals are not 100%.
No,
boiling is 100%.
Yeah, and it's not just a boil; it's a rolling boil for at least 3 to 5 minutes. I leave it.
Yeah.
And you can add things in there to make a stew, like tea, pine needle, mint, apples. You can put an apple in there and stir it up and make a bit of an apple tea, whatever you want. But it's down to your taste. Now, the other thing that gets me is I take me out of them because they eat very well, all these guys. But when they're teaching courses and stuff, they always bring an OXO cube or something out. When you're out there and you're in the shit, you haven't got any OXO cubes or anything. You've got what's out there, and you've got to live on whatever. If you want a sweetener, you've got berries, okay, blackberries, whatever you want. You haven't got sugar, milk, and tea. You have to do what you've got out there. Do you know what I mean?
Now, there's a good question in the room for you, Chris.
Yeah.
I've heard of people drinking urine to survive.
Crack on then.
You know, urine comes out of your body. It is full of toxins. It is full of salt. It is full of bad things. There was even one point where he, who was it?
You would do it.
What's that boy gave himself a urine enema to absorb the water that way into himself? Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls.
You know, that would be better than actually drinking the urine. Your best bet would be to urinate into leaves and whatnot, and then use those leaves for making a solar still or something like that. Then the poisons would still stay there, whereas the actual water would leave the urine and condense against the underside of the plastic. Drinking urine, you're just drinking more toxins back into your body. Why would you want to do that?
Do you know, that's a good point. I'll tell you, that solar still, Rich, the people that make mistake on that solar still. Does anyone know what the mistake is? On the underside, not on the top. You can build it easy, but what's the underside? What people do that they make mistakes?
Over here, what I do, and what I try and teach to people when I talk to us about a solar still is one, it's not worth the bother in our area. Might be somewhere else. Two, we use a tube to drink out of. We don't actually get back into the thing. What would be the other one?
But the other thing is, do you notice how the droplets fall all over the place? Yeah, turn the plastic up, roughen it down to the center. Right. So that when the water forms, it goes to the center and doesn't just drip everywhere. Yeah. So you're wasting water or the liquid that's in there. It goes down to the center. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, we put a rock in the top so that
Yeah, but you always roughen the underneath, so it's got a flowing mechanism. So when it forms, it draws it straight down into the center. Normally, you get wet patches all over the place. If you're roughing it underneath where you want the water to flow... Right.
It'll follow the ridges and run back down to the center.
Yeah. The other thing, because we're getting on, I keep waffling, is... sorry, Rich. Is a pyramid, triangle pyramid, okay? On top of that thing, you've got your kit. Then you've got knowledge, dispels fear and builds confidence. And the last thing that everyone's got to think of is what? The will to live. And there's 90% of them that haven't got it that do it out there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're weekend, I'm not being funny, but they are weekend warriors. It's great to go out there and have fun. I muck around a lot with a lot of people. I have a lot of laughs out there. But when it comes down to really nitty gritty, kit, knowledge, the will to live is the last line of your defense.
Who was that? Oh, I can't think of his name now. The one guy survived on the mountain for like 20 some or 30 days, didn't have food, was holding snow to his mouth to get water. He didn't have anything to burn, was laying up on the side of the mountain. He'd lost more than almost like 50% of his body weight. I mean, he was in very terrible shape, but he didn't want to die. And that was it. He kept him alive. Just the water and being there was the will to live long enough for somebody to find him.
Yeah, most of us will want to get back to civilization. Okay, so that's where the signals come in. You lay out patterns, 3 fires, 25 meters apart, whatever. And, most of us will want to come back to civilization. When you're on the road, you haven't got a choice. So when someone says, about my experiences and what I've done, well, being on the road is a massive experience. It's like a survival course in years, not in a week or 2 days. It's in years because you're doing it all the time to keep alive. You haven't got a house to go back to, or a wife, or a fire. You've got to build the bloody thing out there. And they wood is essential. You're not going to sit there and carve a bloody spoon. 90% of the time I was getting wood. The other percent of the time I was resting because your body needs to regenerate until I got used to it. As I said, 6 weeks it takes you to get used to living out. And if anyone says that I'm wrong, then I'm sorry, but they're full of crap because I've done it, been there, and I know what it's like. It's hard. It's not a game.
Well, as far as pieces of kit, we all have these, the 5-piece, the 10-piece, the 3-piece, the everything else. Now, I know...
we won't mention him. Forget him.
You were in a video. What was our guy's name? What's his name? He came over here to the States for a while. Got the hat with all the stuff on it. What's his name?
Sean the Silver Fox.
Sean the Silver Fox. Now I love that. Sean says, "I've got my #1 piece of kit," and he pulled Chris out from behind the tree. There you go. That's all you need to take with you.
Sean, very nice guy. I don't really want to go there. I mean, I know a bit about Sean. If you want to really know about Sean, best to ask him yourself, really, because I mean,
no. What I'm asking is what would you suggest that people take the minimum they take with them in a survival situation? If I said, okay, I'm gonna make me a little kit to take with me for a survival situation, what would I take?
Me, bugger it, I'll go. Who wants me? I'll go. No, a tool, a proper knife. Make sure that it's a knife, you know, that works properly. Not a knife that's got a saw edge on the back. Something that's sturdy, that can work, that can chop wood, process stuff. You know, small knives. The trouble is, I don't understand this bushcraft thing. Now, I hate getting round to it, but they all seem to love this small knife thing. Why? You know, you can't process wood with a small knife. You'll be there all bloody day. A big knife like an axe or something that's quite big, got hefty weight behind it, will process wood a lot quicker than having a small knife.
Yeah,
I do small knives, I agree, and they are very nice and they are very strong. But
they're good for a backup.
Yeah, but it's nothing like a tool.
No.
Now, see, I like to carry here in the United States. I like to carry about a 4-inch blade that I use for just about everything. But I carry a tomahawk and I carry a folding saw.
Yeah, good. Well, there you go. See, a folding saw works.
Right.
When I was out there, I had a saw, 20-inch saw, but it had a Sandvik's blade. Now I used to cut oak with that all day, and it was lovely. And we're talking 8 logs, 4 foot long, 2 foot wide, and I'd burn them all day just to keep warm in the winter, and it was great. I loved it. But when it snapped, you know, the blade, you could just, that's when I used the S-wing tool to get through. But it's hard. It's not, you know, that's why I don't like these small blades. I mean, I've got small blades now. One's a little folding blade, and it's nice, it's strong, but I use it. But if I was out in the wild, I'd put that away and use the tool straight away. I wouldn't use anything small because I'm used to the tool. Do you know what I mean? You need a good strong knife when you're out there, and make sure you get a pan set or just a small.
What's the grind on the tool?
Convex.
Convex grind.
Yeah, see,
it's just a big convex grind. It's like an axe when it just chops it.
Convex is a chopping grind.
Now see, I've got my cold steel Gurkha kukri, but it's not a convex. See, the grind on it is a flat grind. It does.
But it works.
Yeah.
I've used the cookery, and they do work very well. But a good expensive cookery will work better than a cheap cookery. So get a blade that works, and make sure you test it before. I know 90% of the time you can't because you're in the shop, but ask as many questions about it. Get on the internet, research. People do reviews, so you know, find out what they think. Again, but watch the people who do the reviews. Don't, you know, because there's a load of Mickey Mousers out there, I call them, on YouTube at the moment.
They would rather tell you I can take a machete and work on wood, and I'm going to tell you right now, here in Ohio, you ain't going to split wood with a machete.
No.
You'll get it for a while, but eventually that thin blade's going to roll, twist, or do whatever else on you because it's not going to stand up to these hardwoods around here.
Yeah. I go through a lot of knives on test where they just don't hold up, they break. I mean, I use a knife all the time. I'll probably use 3 more clippers a year. That's so many knives I'm going through where the blades are just no good after that.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any other questions that somebody wants to know, I don't mind. I'll answer whatever. But
any questions in the chat room or anyone wants to ring in?
Yeah, you guys.
The number up.
Well, yeah, 1513-258-5969, and anybody got any questions? You can put them in the room. Whatever else you want to do. What about now? You know, we get a lot of people over here. They talk about carrying their wool blanket.
Oh God!
I love it.
No, we won't even go there. I mean, listen. I'm going to. You have to bring it up, don't you? Now, all this log hunter.
No, wait a minute. Now, listen. I'm only bringing it up because it's popular at this point in time. I'm not saying anybody or anything else. I'm saying you've been there. I've been there. You know, Farmer's out there every freaking day. The wool blanket.
No. forget it. Yeah, it's good to it absorbs water, keeps you warm when it's wet. But
doesn't beat a
Savvy,
bivvy
innit?
in a good bag.
no, forget it. All these long hunter crap, just throw it out the window. They've never done that, never been there. Just get yourself a bloody sleeping bag, a good sleeping bag, 5 season with a bivvy bag and a ground mat. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, which is funny actually. The fat man with pies reckons that you put the mat inside the bivvy bag, right? Well, he's totally wrong, because if you get claustrophobic, you panic and you can't get out quick. So you always have it underneath you, because the mat takes the pounding, not the bivvy bag, because the bivvy bag is there to protection. Okay? Yeah. So you always, you're looking for protection, location, acquisition of food and water, navigation and medical, which is the last thing you're looking for. So a good bivvy bag, make sure you test it. Test the bivvy bag. If it's the one without the zips in, get a bath running, cold water, put all your clothes in, put newspaper around the outside, keep the hood out, dip it in there, put some socks in a brick and weight the bloody thing down inside. Leave it in there for 24 or 48 hours. You'll soon see if it leaks, because when you pull it out and empty the bath, all the newspaper will be soaking wet. Get rid of it, go take it back, ask them, say it leaks, and they give you another one, and find one that doesn't leak before you actually go out there and use it. Because there was an instant years ago where a guy used a bivvy bag and a down sleeping bag, and it got wet. He already had hypothermia and he suffered even more, but luckily the mountain rescue people got to him quick. But if it doesn't, it'd have been kicking up daisies. So you make sure.
That's the trouble with untested gear, though, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to make sure that it works first time. I won't take anything out in the field unless it works. I'll get rid of it, and I have got rid of jackets and stuff.
I've got the ultimate bivvy bag.
Yeah, go on. A hammock.
No, I have. Well, yeah, I've got a hammock, but no, I actually have a body bag, a waterproof rubber body bag. And
there ain't a body in it, Rich, is there?
No, not anymore. I got rid of that part, but I got the bag. Yeah.
Checking, mate.
It just doesn't breathe, but I've never found a bivvy bag that's waterproof that breathes worth a darn either. But yeah.
Does it float all right, Rich?
Does it what?
Float.
Does it float?
Yeah. Have you tested it in the river to check?
Yeah. If I zip it up, no, liquid doesn't come in, liquid doesn't go out. No, it's got a flap over on the seal on the zippers from both sides. So yeah, so body fluids don't come in or out. Yeah.
That's excellent. Is it quite big?
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
It's bigger than me. It's big enough I can get my big butt in there. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to ask where you got that from.
Yeah, well, no, like I said, I got the body out and I turned it inside out, washed it out a few times. It's all right. It's okay.
The other thing I want to emphasise on, which I particularly hate, is most of the people out there that are doing the same thing, bow drills, right? Now, when you're in the shit, you're not going to use a bow drill. You're not going to waste the energy. You're going to have 2 lighters, matches, a striker, and you're going to use that and use the bow drill as a last resort. There's too many of these people that are using these bow drills. If you're in a hot country, great, crack on, mate. It will work. In this country, forget it.
When you're cold,
do you know what I mean?
When you're cold, you're shivering, you're wet,
and your hands are freezing cold, and the dexterity in your hands start to go. It's not going to work. You might as well use a lighter. A survival tin has got everything you need in it to survive for as long as you want. As long as if you can sustain fire, you've got life. If you can't get a fire going and it's cold, you're in trouble.
I ran a course about 2 years ago, and we had a bunch of students there that were just gone and they just could not get a fire going, and in the middle of the night they just wanted to go home, so we let them go home.
Yeah. I've had a guy on a course that's done it. He said, we're doing bow drill. I said, I don't teach it. And he said, why? I said, because it don't bloody work, mate. When you're in the poo, you're not going to use it. And he is insistent, so I sent him over there and he went and done it himself. He was there 3 hours, never got a fire going. Got loads of smoke but no fire. And he just said, and he came back and said to me about the same thing. And I said, listen, mate, I told you twice, I don't do it. And that's the reason why, because I never relied on it.
Well,
JC's probably got one of the best videos you'll ever see on a bow drill fire remix.
Yeah,
go over to JC's channel and watch the video on his bow drill.
Yeah,
12 volt drill thing. Great.
Oh yeah, brilliant. He'd come up with some
JC said, Rich, I'm going to wind Chris up, ask him about bushies.
bushies. Oh, bushies. Well, uh, what's he emphasise on bushies, JC?
That's bushcrafters, Chris.
Is it? I disagree with a lot of them. What reason is? I hate to mention it, really. 90% of them don't know what they're doing, being down to earth. Listen, camping is camping. They want to do it, make spoons, do baskets. Love it, great. I've got some friends that are very good at bushcraft. They carve wood, and they're very good at what they do. But put them in a situation where you had to rely on them to do something for real, I personally would do it on my own. I'd walk away from them and leave them.
I mean,
that's not being nasty. That's my opinion. I've got
bushcrafting friends who that are carving stuff.
Yeah, they're brilliant,
like
lovely. Look at that. But I'd burn it.
Yeah, I know you would.
I make chopsticks. Good enough for me. I'm eating.
Yeah. Well, if you want a spoon, just slice a bit of wood down the middle and shape it into a chisel, and drink out of a tin. If you've got an old tin there, you can sterilise it over the fire and stuff. Bugger the. Listen, when I was brought up as a kid, we never had bushcraft. Okay, there was no such thing as bushcraft. And then our man Flint, I'll call him Flint, Pie Eater. Flint. We won't go into it, right? No names mentioned. He started bushcraft off. Then he went back to survival. Then it's bushcraft. And bushcraft has grown into a massive organisation as such now. Now they're trying to get qualifications.
Come on,
for
now, bushcraft sells, and so does prepping.
I agree.
And so does prepping and all that kind of stuff. But when you want to talk, you can have fun doing all these things. But when it comes to survival, it's either do or die.
Or die. That's the thing. I get upset, and I love them. I think some of them are absolutely lovely people, but I get a bee in my bonnet about them teaching what they don't know about. Yeah. Plants, and they're great at doing their own knife things, and they collect knives and do this, but don't teach people the wrong stuff, because I can guarantee that one day there's going to be an accident in your country or this country where someone's going to get seriously hurt, and then the government are going to swoop down and hit every single school there is.
Yeah.
They're even trying to legalise it where you've got so-called instructors qualification. Well, there's no governing body, and there's never been any qualification for it. So anyone could get up and start teaching it. But the other thing I must go on about, which I don't want to rant about, but JC will laugh his head off, is the people that I've met along the road that lie about their military background. No names mentioned. I'm not mentioning any names, but if you teach survival or bushcraft, don't lie about your background, because you will be found out and you will get it straight back in your mouth.
Yeah, it will always come back and haunt you.
Of course it will. Yeah, it will. Yeah. I don't lie about what I've done. I've got no reason to. I'm not proud of what I've done. My dad's more proud of me than I am personally. I think I was lucky to have my dad and the way I was brought up and stuff. I must admit, I did enjoy being out there, and I miss it. I hate the bloody house. I like being outside more than being in. I've got a wonderful daughter now, and my wife's lovely, and things are going okay, and I can't complain. But if shit ever hits the fan, I know for a fact that I can turn my back and go like that and go back out again anytime I want.
20 years in the military, there's only one thing I'm qualified to teach you, and that's how to duck.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can get down to the ground like you have never seen a fat man move. I tell you what, I can get down real quick. Yeah.
We are actually running out of time, guys. So I don't know whether you're going to carry on.
We can go as long as you want. As long as you want to.
Are they happy?
It depends what the guys want in the chat room. Do you want us to carry on?
So. We still got everybody in the chat room. Doesn't matter to me. As go as far as long as you guys want to rock and roll. I don't care. That's a good thing about being,
Is there any questions they want to ask? I mean, besides Lord Ha Ha.
Besides Lord.
Yeah, before Ha Ha. Yeah.
He wants to hear the story.
Troublemaker.
That's what he is.
Well,
I'll tell
I
you.
thought if my buddy here in Ohio was going to join us tonight. I was told he was going to be in the chat room, but he didn't show up. And
Hey,
Or
do you want to hear
maybe
this?
I don't know who your buddy is, but maybe you wanted to speak to a real survival expert.
yeah, maybe.
Any questions?
Do you want to hear about Lord Haha? Shall I tell you the story?
Yeah, go on, crack on.
Crack
Okay,
on, he
'cause-
says. Crack on. Yeah, go ahead.
JC would be laughing his head off like he normally is. Me and a guy called Tony McGrady, I called him Mac. He used to call me the posh dosser because I had all the gear and stuff, and he's laughing. Anyway, we're down in Burton and Bradstock. There's this gate, there's this playing field, and this thing over the back, like a palladium thing. And he wanted to stay the night. It was getting dark. Anyway, I see this beech woods. I'm up over the top of this hill in this like little valley thing, and there's these loads of beech logs there. Anyway, so I said to Shouts to Mac, I'm staying here the night, you know, we can get a fire going, the stream's over there. Get a fire going, have a cup of tea, sit down. It's getting dark. Early in the morning, with this little dog running around, you know, so Mac's up looking around. This woman comes up to the top of the hill and says to Mac, excuse me, she says, you can't stay here. So Mac says, why not, love? This belongs to Lord Haha. So Mac says, yeah, he's just gone round the corner, love. And off she trots with her little dog. And that was the actual true story. And, yeah, instances like Geordie Metcalf walking down the road with a check coat on in the pouring rain. I'm passing him, like, and he used to be a Welsh bridge builder, a wayfarer, a tramp, whatever you call him on the road. And he used to look at me and look at the weather and say, lovely day, Chris. I used to say, fuck off, and just keep going and leave him to it. Do you know what I mean? But, yeah.
Top Wolf said to tell you, Chris, that he has one of your spoons.
That's Top Wolf, Donald. Oh, mate. He said he's still using that spoon you sent him.
Yeah, my mate. Yeah. Hey, we won't go into what you can do with a spoon on here.
Don't swear. There's kids listening.
No. But I don't carve spoons. I told you once. If you've got my name on it, great. Keep it, mate. You might sell it later on down the road when I'm dead. You know.
We got some special videos coming out for aroundthecabin.com, which will be exclusive, and there'll be a couple of videos of us out in the field, pretty soon, Chris.
Speaking of videos,
yeah.
Have you guys talked to JC lately?
Sort of, but no, I haven't.
I've missed it.
I talked to JC today. I think JC has agreed now. I'm gonna let this be known.
Yeah.
That JC's gonna start teaching trapping videos. We get
Hey,
this school
good.
going here, and I can't think of a better man to know traps.
Oh,
No, good.
You guys both approve of that?
Yeah,
JC,
good.
he's an excellent
Good
guy.
man. He's
That's top
excellent.
man too. The way we wrangled him in, I'm drawing the noose tighter and tighter on him, trying to get everything squared away. But he's going to do some traps for us and some other videos also that have to do with some of the other things that he specializes at. And JC is going to be joining us here around the cabin. So there's a news break for everybody. The courses are getting worked on as we speak and will be up in a few weeks. We're hoping to get that moved around and going through there, so it is something that they're working on. And,
Yeah, JC's just so good.
Videos, and those courses will be paid courses. You will have to pay to take these courses.
Be all right if he takes that hippie band off his head now,
Yeah.
though.
I mean, JC's just one of them great guys. You know, he's such a seasoned outdoorsman. You know, and his trapping videos are probably some of the best on YouTube. And that is SRS 2012 Short Range Survival. And I suggest anyone go over there and give him a sub.
Well,
some of the best trapping videos you will ever see that he's got.
Here's a hint for you all: these traps are not on YouTube.
Yeah.
These traps are some of JC's specialties, and he will be doing these up. And because of his knowledge, I feel that it is only fair that for his time and his ability, that there will be a small nominal fee that will be going up for this for you guys to take these courses. But I think anybody who wishes to teach a course, we should always pay a teacher for teaching what they know, and that goes for the teachers who teach our students, as well as the teachers who teach the rest of us also. So if you guys really want to learn some really good trapping, this will be coming up here in the next month. These courses will be coming available for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some traps that I've been working on, and and they haven't panned out, and I've run them past OJC, and he's sorted out the trigger system on it or whatever. Yeah, great, be really good. Sign up for them.
What do you think, Chris? You've
Oh,
dealt with JC before.
Hey, top man. He runs my courses over in the States, and he's good. I like JC. Down to earth, straight guy, knows what he's talking about. And the other thing that people don't realise is that he spent time on the road for 3 years, so he's been there and done it. So he knows when shit hits the fan. JC knows how to deal with it, which is good.
He knows what works and doesn't work.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
And he makes some amazing bags and flint knives and flint arrows, and he has got a shop where you can buy his bags, a flint knife. He sent me over a bag and all that, and it's fantastic. In fact, I was showing the producers it the other day on the film, and they were amazed by some of his work. So
and he's also got his buddy with him, Short Round, which I love. His little fluffy dog, Short House, which is really nice. I'm pleased.
You know what sold everybody here? And I'll tell you what. We saw a couple of JC's videos. He actually did a private video for us. The people that I'm involved with here around the cabin, and it was the knowledge, the professionalism, and the fact that he actually brought up the safety factors on traps that he was talking about pulling them so people didn't get injured, so that pets and other animals did not get injured by leaving traps and stuff like that. It's the responsibility, and you see this in the caring of a person such as himself and you guys, the people we deal with that do these things. And I'm so honored to know all of you and have you involved in all this. I really thank each one of you, Chris and Foggy and JC and everybody else who's all involved with this. I really thank you guys for putting the effort and the time into these things for us.
No, thanks. It's good to come on here and hopefully to teach or people to get some experience of what you've had. That's the main thing.
Well, Fog, do your thing here. What else you want to do?
That's it, mate. Is
there any questions at all on?
There's no questions. I'm going away now. I should be away. I'm going away today. I'm out for a 4-day camp, 3-day camp, 4 I think. Working and camping at the same time, a bit of both. Unfortunately, I can't get away from the old job. So no, that's it. My next Around the Cabin video will be me out in the field, which I'll be filming this weekend coming.
Now, speaking of filming. Are you guys still getting together?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, there's a gathering going on in August.
We're both teaching at the Wilderness Gathering, mate, and we're both going to teach at the Wilderness Gathering in the UK. So we'll both be there in August, and then we'll be both meeting together to film exclusive survival videos for AroundTheCabin.com.
You're going to meet up there and eat pies with the big man, are you?
No, I don't eat pies.
I'm still going to see the big man in October, and then we'll be going out for a pie and a pasty together, probably. Or pie and a pint.
Pie and a pasty,
Pie and a pint,
In a tree.
Well,
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm going to get his autograph for Chris.
No, you're not. No. If there's I don't know if they've put the links down about where the knives, they can get the knives, but there's Haney Hines, the Knife Centre, Blade HQ, and Dallas is main. But I don't know, there's other people that are selling the tools at the moment. All I want to say is, thanks guys for letting us on. I hope that people learnt a bit. It's not a great deal, but it's enough to give you an appetite. Just do me one favour, when you go outside, be safe, watch your head for deadfalls, and keep away from the bees and hornets. And do me another favour, keep away from the idiots, because there's a lot of idiots out there. And if anyone says to you they're not scared of anything, keep away from them, because they get you killed. Okay?
I'm afraid of no man, but my mother's not a man, so that's
That's right, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
No.
Thanks, Donald, and thanks everyone for joining us. It's been fantastic tonight. The chat room's been great. JC, Lee, Micah, Preppers in there, Show, Sleep and Top, my old mate Big Dirt, and just remember guys, my old mate Big Dirt has got the best YouTube channel.
There you go.
There you go. It's out there.
And
Big.
he did
Go
that.
and sign up.
Oh, I should answer this question before we go. Big Dirt wanted to know how long it took for Dave Canterbury to teach me how to use a bow drill set. Well, it never happened, Dirt, because he hasn't figured it out yet.
Ooh. I ain't gonna.
I went there with that one. Ha! Take that.
No comment. Not saying a word about him.
Yeah, never got there yet because he's still in Walmart. Oh, no.
See, I haven't said.
Foggy's dying over here.
Hey, this is my show. You're destroying.
Oh, I love him do that.
It's alright as long as I'm here.
I've talked to Dave a few times. He's all right. I don't mind Dave. He's a good guy. We tease with a lot of people only because we know him. And if you guys wanted to know who the big man was, they were actually talking about Ray Mears, who the pie eater. The pie eater. Don't say who to me. You know who you're talking about. But,
the pie, that's Ray Mears, yeah.
Yeah, it's a tight family. Get to know everybody. Matter of fact, I know, and he didn't bring it up, that Chris got to meet up with, what's his name? Mr. Parkour himself.
Michael Hawk. You spoke to him, Chris, didn't you? You've seen him.
Yeah.
I met him, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, I met him at a station in London, yeah.
Nice guy.
Yeah, nice guy. But yeah, it's 2 watches, black hair, desert camo, from head to foot. Nice guy.
Now, why 2 watches?
I don't know. You have to ask him.
Okay.
I don't know.
I thought maybe he was traveling so much he had one set for one place and one set for another or something like that.
Yeah, probably America and UK because his wife's UK, isn't she? So
back and forth, back and forth. Now he has a school, or he did have a school. Where's Hawk's school at? He had one South America. Does he have a school?
I don't know.
I can't remember. I think he has a school down in South America or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got his thing over there. If he's still doing it, I don't know if he's still doing it.
I think he is. I think, but
yeah. So.
But don't forget about your friend out there, Cody Lundin, who I generally recommend. He's a guy that's been there and done it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't mix words, from what I've been told, which is great.
No, and like him and a couple other ones, and yourself, Chris. If you don't know what it is, don't eat it.
Yeah.
No, just leave it. You only get yourself sick.
That's right. So there's
don't forget the Arizona Bushman, John. He's a nice guy.
John Campbell.
Yeah, nice guy.
And his mate.
McCall.
No, yeah, Mikhail is brilliant.
Yeah.
Mikhail.
I got a big review coming up.
Mikhail.
On the stove.
The cooker.
Oh,
yeah, he's good.
Show that again. Show that again. What do you got there?
Big YouTube review coming up, the US version. That's the McCall stove, and there'll be a full YouTube review on that. Coming very soon. Probably be doing it this weekend. McCall asked me to do a review for him, and I've already got some shops interested. They've already trying to get an order for 50 of them straight away. So
anybody in the room interested in guns?
Me.
Interesting. I just ran into and spoke with over the phone. I talked to a gentleman in Australia by the name of Ray Mancini. Ray Mancini has a book out called Zen, Meditation and Art of Shooting. And Ray sent me, I just received from Australia, an autographed copy of the book that he sent. I didn't ask for it, he sent it to me. And it said he had a great time speaking with me and wished the best for me and my family and in the future, and look forward to catching up with me on his visit over here to the U.S. and wants to come on and do a little show talk with us and whatnot. So he sent me he sent me a copy of the book for me to check out, and he's talking about sending me another copy of the book so that we can give it away.
That'd be cool.
So
if in doubt, buy a shotgun.
There you go. Buy a shotgun.
Buy a shotgun?
Yeah, don't ask.
No, I'm not going to ask.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so, alright. Foggy, close it up, man. I'll kill us out of here and play some music at the end.
I hope you've got a good song for me.
Hey, I've got one thing to say just before. In January of 2008 was really the last time I was around at Lofty's house, and he signed his SAS book. I don't know if you can see this, to my daughter Jessie.
Oh, how nice.
For that. Lovely.
So and it says in there, to Jesse, all the very best, and keep safe, and listen to your dad.
Right.
That's it.
Perfect.
Is that a hard
John
copy?
Lofty Wiseman. No, it's a soft copy, but it's
Okay.
Survival Manual for Jesse.
Yeah,
So,
it is Micah. Micah it is, mate.
Well, it's
Double
good to be
barrel.
a close-knit family, as a lot of us are. We're talking with each other back and forth and everything else, and that's good. That's great.
Okay, well, thanks very lot for having us, and good luck to everyone, and hope you succeed in whatever you're doing.
Guys, if you need to get hold of Chris Kane, he's always willing to speak to you. You can PM him on his YouTube channel, and he will get back to you or reply to you on that. So if there's any questions and anything personal you'd like to ask him, don't be scared to go over there. Always on Skype. Give him a ring.
Yeah, just Mr. Chris Kane, or Chris Kane Survival it is on Skype. Just I don't mind, I'll talk to all of you, not bothered.
We're trying to get people from around the cabin or who watches aroundthecabin.com to really be able to get knowledge and advice whenever they need it from professional people like Chris.
Well, Chris, would you like us to put the links up on Around the Cabin coming over to you?
Please. Yeah, whatever, I'll do it.
That. You've got you deal with Facebook or anything like that?
Yeah, I've got a Facebook account up there as well. I don't like it, but my daughter mucks around with it. She's put up another Facebook account for me and the Blades, and people are starting to look on that as well. So, yeah.
Well, I'll have Fogg get all the information and give it over to Castle Mum, who's in charge of putting all that computer stuff up, and we'll put it up in the links and everything for you there, brother, and get that over. So if anybody has any questions, they can contact Chris Kane here in the next couple of days.
All right. Cheers, Rich.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Chris.
Great show as always. Y'all have a good night.
Yourself.
I'll catch up with y'all later.